Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Today is Tuesday, January the 18th, 2022. This is Danilo Bogdanovic, Realtor and Principal Agent with Redfin. I decided to put up this background and have a little fun. I know many of you are probably going, oh, I don't want to see any snow, but no apologies here. I love the snow. Bring it on. I love skiing, snowboarding, snowball fights, driving the snow wheeling in my Jeep. So I wanted to put this up there because we've gotten a bunch of snow so far this year and looks like there's some more coming, which is awesome, at least in my opinion. And I got to say that, back in 04, 05, 06, when the market was crazy, my broker at the time said the best time to go show properties to buyers is when there's snow on the ground. And the reason why is because there's nobody else out there. Maybe a couple other people in a Jeep or some four-wheel drive. So you really may not have any competition if you submit an offer. And wow, does that advice ever hold true today? So I wanted to do this video because you guys need to know what's going on in the market. Last year, the first half was nuts. The second half slowed down. And then all of a sudden, after the Fed's meeting in December, when they flat out came out and said, "Hey, we're going to slow down our buybacks on the bonds," and and they very heavily hinted at increasing rates not just more often, but also at a faster pace, aka higher interest rates sooner. It's like the floodgates opened. Usually, the spring market doesn't start until second half of January into February. It started basically the day after the Fed meeting and the Fed announcement. In fact, and I can't believe I'm saying this, the market right now is crazier than it was in 21 or 2020. I didn't think it could be possible. I am completely in awe and shocked, but it is. This comes from both hard data as well as boots on the ground. To give you an example, so I went to 2 open houses this weekend. I was at each one for about 15 minutes. The first one, I counted 21 people. Now, granted, there were couples, families, etc. So let's cut that in half. Okay, let's say out of those 21 people that it was maybe 10 or 11 sets of buyers. That's in 15 minutes. This was a 3-hour open house. The second open house, 18 people. Let's say that's 9 sets of buyers. That's in 15 minutes. There was a property in Reston. Buyer was very interested. Listed for $710. Granted, it was beautiful. Fully updated, renovated, great style, great taste, great use of space. They did some, knock down some walls, this, that, and the other. In a very sought after cluster, lake cluster in Reston, specifically Lake Anne. Very sought after, but it was not lakefront. It didn't come with a boat. It had over a dozen offers. I lost count with the agent because I didn't want to bother him and get the final count, but I'm going to reach out and find out. But I did hear through little birdie out in the street that it went for even up into the high 800s, all cash, no contingencies. Let me repeat that. Let that sink in. Listed for $710, over a dozen offers, cash, no contingencies, into the high 800s. Do the percentage on that one. Now, granted, this might have been an anomaly, but every agent I'm talking to that has a decent townhome or specifically a single family home is talking about receiving multiple offers, craziness, line down the street, that buyers looking at properties. One of my buyers pulled up to a property. They thought they were having a party. No, it was just buyers waiting to get in. And it wasn't even an open house. You can't get a showing. The showings are booking up in showing time. Open houses don't usually work, but in a situation where there's no available openings on showing time, which is a showing service that agents use and sellers, and in turn buyers to look at properties, when there's no slots left, then the only time you can go is an open house. They thought it was a party. They said, we're not dealing with this. We're out of here. Not trying to get involved in this craziness. Now, this is despite interest rates more than likely, if not probably, almost guaranteed, going up in March. Now, what's interesting is, my theory was when the Fed came out with their announcement that the following 60 to 90 days was going to be crazy because buyers were going to rush in, get into the market and buy a house before the rates go up. Smart move, right? Well, everybody had that idea. Now, what's interesting is that most mortgage lenders have already increased their rates in anticipation of the interest rate hike, which has yet to happen. So if you were a buyer that got in the last week of December or the first week of January, you still got in at those really historical low rates. Since the second week of January, if you check with your lender right now, rates already shot up. They were 3. You can get in under 3. Now they're 3.5. So, and this is before the rate hike actually was it hasn't been announced yet. So, if you're a buyer now, you're basically still trying to get in potential anticipation of the lenders increasing rates even more if the Fed raises the rate more than the anticipated 1/8 or 1/4 point. Now, in speaking with my go-to lender, Darren Anthony, Main Street Home Loans, been working with him for 18 years, even longer than that as a first-time home buyer. He is guessing that rates may go up, another 8/10 of a point by the end of the year. He's also, and this is true because he said it and I've watched it happen, there's usually a knee-jerk reaction, which is very quick, and there's a slow tick down, to offset that knee-jerk reaction. So perhaps rates may dip down a tiny bit here in the next month to 2 months because of this crazy knee-jerk reaction, but still, they are higher. So it's not like you're getting in before the rates go up because they've already gone up. But look, we've been spoiled, okay? We've had these ridiculously low rates, and the average rate of 6, 7, 8%, we're at 3.5. That's still a great deal. Now, a very well-respected, longtime veteran of market data and research, Mike Simonson of Altos Research, does a YouTube video for free, which anybody, you as a consumer, me as an agent, anyone can just check it out. He also has a paid service, which really gives details and data that goes, super, super microeconomic. He just came out with some numbers, and he's echoing the same thing. Nationwide, the market is ticking up and getting hotter, and if not the hottest ever. And one reason is because, on April 30th, 2021, we had record low inventory across America. It was 307,000 homes across the United States that were for sale. Then the inventory went up. Now, as of last week, 292,262, a new record low for inventory. If you are a buyer right now, actively looking for homes, you already know this. But if you're not, just check it out. Just see for yourself. Look for a property, whether it be a townhome in a single price point in a certain zip code. Go look what's out there. You're lucky if you get a couple. Some buyers that I'm working with, we can't even find one. Not one. I'm doing CMAs for listings and I'm looking at comps for market value. They're all sold. There's no under contract or actives. And if there are, it's 1, maybe 2 total over, currently on the market. That's absurd. So you have all this demand that is now coming out of the woodworks, buyers, and you have even lower inventory than ever before. So even with the rate going up, that's not enough to offset a crazy market. And with the ridiculously record lows, the market is even hotter and crazier now than it was in its heyday of last year or 2020. Like I said, never thought I'd say that because that was ridiculous, but it's the truth. If you're looking at new construction, it's also very limited. Most are building like the 2/2 condos that they call townhomes, but they're more condos than anything. Or they're building these big estate homes. or they're building these new kind of luxury 4-level, townhomes, some with elevators or 55 plus. But if you're the typical buyer, at least in Northern Virginia, there's really not much for new construction. You have to go way out west. Well, relatively speaking, way out west, Winchester, stuff like that. But if you're in true Northern Virginia, good luck. The resale market is kind of where it's at unless you're really willing to spend 1.5 or more, on a large single family home for the most part. And these 4-level townhomes, they're going 800,000, 700 to 900 base price. You could blink and spend 50 grand in options. So that's the market right now. So long story short, if you're a seller and you're selling a second property, you already have your retirement home or a second home, or you're going overseas for deployment or whatever the case may be, you are sitting pretty. If you are selling and buying, you are going to love this as a seller and you're going to hate it as a buyer. And to be honest, a lot of my buyers are waiting. They're either double moving, meaning they're selling first, then renting. There's other options, but this is one of them. They're renting for a while, and then they're going to look for a place to buy because they don't know if they can get a house in time. If you're just a buyer, let's say a first-time home buyer, or you've already sold your other home, you're here now, you're renting, whatever the case may be, you're going to have a really, really tough time. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible, okay? But it's going to be tough, and you better have a really good experienced agent, an experienced lender, or cash, to be honest, in your pocket. Now, you don't have to have cash, but it always helps. But the first two you got to have. You got to have a great agent and a great lender, and a well-known, well-respected lender. Because I'll tell you, as a listing agent, we look at who's the lender. And lenders make a difference when we're presenting offers to our clients. We'll tell them this is a shaky lender, this is a great lender. I know this lender, I've worked with him, done deals with him, he's well-respected, he'll get it done. So it's tough. How long will it last? I think it'll go to at least mid-March. I think the next 60 days are going to be absolute insanity. Then I still think Q2 is going to be very, very busy. And then hopefully, for all of our sakes, including buyers, and due to affordability, I really hope that Q3 and Q4 slow down. Now, I don't mean and don't think that the market's going to fall out, the prices are going to go down. I just hope that it's not this crazy 12 offers, 18, 21 people in 15 minutes at an open house, homes bidding from 710 to high 800s. That's ridiculous, and most people don't have 800 whatever $1,000 in cash to just drop on a house. There are obviously plenty that do because we're seeing them in the market, but that's not the norm. And affordability is really getting out of whack. And on a related note, that's affecting the rental market. If you're looking for a rental, same thing. Rental prices are up dramatically. People are overbidding on rental properties. Let's say they're asking $2,500, they're like, we'll give you $2,600 or $2,700. So that will have a trickle-down effect on the rental market. It already did last year, and I think it will again this year. And if the crazy market now, which was just like the beginning of 21, what we saw in the summer of 21 was the rental market go through the roof, because that increase in value had a direct impact on an increase in rental rates, because there always is a proportion, there's a ratio between rental rates and sales prices. So as values go up, so do rental prices and rates. So we may see that again this summer. So if you're a renter who is coming up at the end, with the end of your lease sometime in the spring or summer, be prepared. This is what you may be facing, another huge increase in a very competitive rental market. So that's the market right now. What other news do I have? Basically, get your big boy pants on, have a lot of patience, have great, expertise in your corner, and, you will eventually find a home. You will get it done. Or if you don't, wait it out, make whatever decision is best for you. I always tell folks, your life situation and your personal threshold for stress and craziness is always different. So whatever's best for you, do that. But just know what you are getting yourself into to make the best and most informed decision for you, your situation, your family situation. If you have specific questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always available. And if you like more data or a specific CMA for your home, including market value, just reach out and I'll get that over to you within 24 hours, as I do with everybody. So hope everyone's doing well. Personally, I'm looking forward to more snow and some snowboarding this winter. If you don't like snow, I'm sorry. Don't hate me. Don't worry. Spring and summer will be here soon. All right. You guys have a great day. Hope all is well, and I'll see you next time. Take care.